starting first. Everybody, welcome to Drones Groups.
Behind me, you will see a picture of a soldier returning home to his family. With the use of drones, families and loved ones do not have to worry as much about them because drones save military lives every single day. The official definition of a drone is a remote-controlled, pilotless aircraft or missile. The first drones were used in 1849 when Austria launched balloons to carry bombs over the city of Venice. Balloons were used by both Confederate and Union sides during the Civil War. Also, they were used as surveillance during World War II and every war since. Drones have saved and protected many American lives over the past 150 years. The pros of using drones greatly outweigh the cons, and the many examples that we will give you throughout this presentation.
Since 2004, drones have become more popular and more easily obtained. Drones can provide many beneficial services. However, we still need to be aware of the various consequences and risks of them. They can sometimes be the United States legislature is still debating domestic drone use for businesses and civilians alike. Amazon has announced Amazon Prime Air, which is a new technology using unmanned aerial vehicles to deliver customers' packages to their homes. This has caused several concerns to arise concerning the domestic drone use, safety, and legality. These drones could potentially fly into power lines in homes, causing widespread power outages and damage to personal property.
Drones have previously been used against terrorists in other countries. Since drones do not have a pilot, there are less American casualties. One of the downfalls to no pilot is if the drone malfunctions, it can easily fall into enemy hands. As drones are easier to obtain, the FAA needs to make more regulations to prevent their use.
One of the pros to drones is that they are much more inexpensive than manned aerial vehicles. For example, the MQ-9 Reaper costs about $12 million, and that is the best drone on the market today, while the F-22, which is the equivalent of the Reaper, costs 10 times that amount. Another example is that out of the $5 million allotted for the Department of Defense, only 1% of it goes to drones. Drones are a lot cheaper than any manned aerial vehicle, and the American Security Project says that despite the difficulties with drones, the price outweighs any of them.
On April 5th, 2014, a 375-pound military spy drone, which weighs more than a refrigerator, crashed into the playground of an elementary school in Lebanon County, Pennsylvania. The reason the drone was flying over is still unknown, but it was most likely on a practice mission. Residents in Lebanon County, Pennsylvania have expressed their concern fearing something like this would happen. The RQ-7 Shadow Spy drone, pictured right there, is 11 feet long with a wingspan of 14 feet and cost $150,000. The crash totally destroyed the vehicle beyond repair. If it had crashed any sooner, it could have potentially severely injured or killed a child, as they had just gone in from the recess break. In 2012, there were 193 crashes involving drones. The government has yet to make any regulations or restrictions for domestic drone use. Crashes like these are what make drones dangerous and unreliable.
Drones impact our society in very positive ways. For example, they are used in law enforcement. Most state and local law enforcement agencies use drones to search for missing children, monitor large crowds, and assist in accident prevention. Also, the U.S. Customs and Borders Patrol has just revealed that they had flown over hundreds of drones to check the border and make sure nobody's trying to cross over illegally. As the map shows right here, that's state and local law enforcement. They have applied for the U.S. Customs and Border drones. Also, drones have many domestic uses. They can check the undersides of bridges and the tops of skyscrapers. Imagine trying to climb 250 flights of stairs carrying 100 pounds of material, and not to mention the cost of insurance and the paid person. With the drone, it's $2,500. You turn it on, and it just flies up to the top and checks it for free.
One of the biggest concerns with drones is privacy invasion. The use of drones for criminal investigations in the US began in 2006 when the Los Angeles Police Department tested a small UAS, disguised here, for a variety of local reasons, including surveying a crime scene. Since then, 18,000 other police departments have purchased drones, but FAA regulations have prevented most of their use. An important case with drones is the United States versus Torres case, where a man stated his rights were violated by the police when they used the drone to scan his property for evidence without his acknowledgement. This established that indiscriminate video surveillance is immoral and a threat to human dignity. Legislators have taken notice and have tried to create various statutes to prevent such searches. The FAA has said that they are going to finish their privacy policy in late 2015.
The development of drones has impacted the world in a positive manner by helping to eliminate terrorist groups. This past November, one of America's drones blew up a vehicle with David Dujan inside. He was a French bomb maker who was part of the Al-Qaeda-affiliated terrorist organization in Syria. The CIA successfully used stealth-style drones that flew under radar to find Osama bin Laden, the leader of the Al-Qaeda, and eventually kill him. The U.S. has killed an estimation of 3,300 Al-Qaeda, Taliban, and other jihadist operatives in Pakistan and Yemen. Many drones have struck and killed our important targets. Without the use of drones, we would not have been able to kill those terrorists and protect many people. On October 2nd, 2011, American citizen Anwar al-Awlaki, a suspected terrorist, was killed in Yemen by a drone strike ordered by the U.S. government. He and 3 other American citizens were assassinated without due legal process that all U.S. citizens are entitled to. The American Civil Liberties Union attempted to challenge the legality of his assassination. However, it was unsuccessful as his death was declared in self-defense, even though no evidence was released to show that he was a threat. Since then, 2 more Americans have been killed in drone strikes in other countries. The low-risk efficiency of drones caused the U.S. government to be less sure of their targets before taking action and initiating drone strikes. Now, police departments and people will be more able to purchase drones because they're becoming cheaper and more agile. Guidelines must be put into place so that more people are not killed by domestic drones with weapons without fair trial.
Drones have many beneficial uses, such as this graph says here. More militants have been killed by drones than civilians, and civilian deaths are actually dropping at an alarming rate. Also, thus far, if Congress was to ask what are the advancements of drones, we will say they are non-pilot, so they can spy on terrorists without the fear of losing a loved one. Also, they can be put in harsh conditions, and repairs very cheap.
Like you said, if Congress were to ask, we would tell them that not only do drones save American lives by going and taking out terrorist groups for them, but they save American lives by the Riptide drone that goes and saves drowning people, and other drones that save American lives, or even other lives, like the 2 people that were lost in the Alps that were saved by a drone, or even rhinos from poachers that the drones found. So not only do drones help take out terrorist groups, but they save lives of our own.
With drones on the rise, the government is going to need to have more guidelines and restrictions concerning people's safety in the U.S. Although there are many benefits to drones, their high malfunction rate, the capability to spy on citizens, and the ability to kill civilians without fair trial or due process are some of the unpleasant uses technology possesses. France and Germany have developed effective laws, but the U.S. is still yet to make proper restrictions for the drone use of the public.
The FAA plans to finalize their policy in 2015. but an exact date has not been confirmed. Without these UAV laws, drone use should be kept at a minimum to prevent future conflict.
I got a question for Pro. So when you have a drone flying over like a country, for example, trying to take out a terrorist infiltrant, or even being engaged by other countries, you're not going to be getting the same like feeling that a pilot would be if he was there in that situation, because he's just sitting behind a computer screen. So you would still be losing the drone because you're not having the exact reaction time because he's not technically there. Like, how'd you fix it?
Can you repeat that?
Yes, I get it. Go ahead.
So, like, with the pilot not being present inside the vehicle, he's not going to be having the chemicals working in his brain to cause him to have reaction time or having an instinct to keep himself alive. Therefore, he's going to be making decisions not based on actual real-life events, but really just being going through a computer.
So Joe, let me clarify, are you saying that pilot error would increase there because they're not actually on the scene?
Correct.
Is that what you're trying to say? So did you guys catch that, Rick?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, one reason is they are man-controlled planes are actually way more expensive, and we actually take former pilots that have flown over Afghanistan, we put them behind it, so they still have the chemicals that react in the brain, which increase their reaction time.
Yeah. Any questions?
I have a question for the front side. For the U.S. government, how do they control the drones that the civilians have?
Well, there's no laws for them right now. The FAA has a few restrictions, but there's no formal laws like what they can do and where they can go, except not the White House, even though they still do.
Do either of the groups know if drones are proven to reduce PTSD? Post-traumatic stress disorder.
When we looked up our things, we found that if you pro of drone is that since you're not actually in the airplane or the drone and killing the actual person, you're just having a remote control, you do not have post PTSD because you're not actually there and killing them.